Get ready, folks.
I sure am. Are you ready?
I sure am.
Super excited. Can you hear me now? You probably can hear me now. I'm going to repeat all of that. So now you guys can probably hear me. Yeah? All right. So I will repeat. That's why I got the sad face. No sound? Oh, come on. Brenda, you can hear me. Okay, everybody can hear me. Hot diggity damn. All right. So what I was saying was seriously. That's why I thought the little sad face went up, because I was telling you about March and then okay, anyway. This show is going to be about apparitions. And so if you guys have any stories about ghosts that you've seen or you think you may have seen. If you're a paranormal investigator, later on, I'm going to open up the show. So if you're at facebook.com/God's Reader, or you're at the YouTube channel, just search Rebecca Foster PhD. And in the chat, I am going to put a link to join me in the show. So if you've got a story, share it with us. Let us know what you're talking about. And then I'm going to do some readings and all that delicious jazz. So, that is hilarious. And so I had just clicked on that's why I didn't know that I didn't have any sound. You know what? I don't know why it even switched, which is really strange because I used it last night perfectly fine. So to have my audio switch on me, I just chalk it up to whatever is messing with me, and I don't really care anymore. I just go with the flow. All right. I'm good now. All right. So the first 25 messages is, hey, I can't hear you. All right. So for instance, okay, so how many of you guys have ever seen a ghost or think you saw a ghost or maybe a shadow figure? Okay, so when it comes to those things, depending on what kind of energy they have or what they're able to pull from, so we've got people on TikTok telling me, yeah, they've seen ghosts. So it can kind of be just a little discombobulating. And when I was really little, my great grandfather had passed away, and I've probably already told you guys this story, and I'll probably tell it 100 more times in my lifetime. But I was 4 years old. I was at school, Montessori. I got home. My mom says that Bampa had died, and I was upset. So I went upstairs and went in my closet and took a nap. And I vividly remember standing in the living room of my grandmother's house, and I watched the ambulance in the driveway, and I could hear, and my grandmother and everybody were doing their thing. And I told my mom, I was like, no, I was there when they took Bampa out of the house. So she's like, no, honey, you weren't. I'm like, yes, I was there. And they brought him down on the stretcher, and he sat up on the stretcher. I never forget it. And he looked around and he goes, where are they taking me? Where am I going? And I thought, yo, everybody, Bampa's alive. He's on the stretcher. And they just took him out of the house. Well, they never took him out of the house. They took his body out of the house. But at that point, I mean, he was always in his chair. I would tell everyone Bampa's right there. And of course, I'm little, so nobody believes me. So there's that. And then, and he was full apparition. Anybody just sitting in a chair, the way they look, that's how he looked. That is exactly how he looked. And he presented himself several other times as just a shadow, but full figure. Just amazing what they can do. When I was 8, I'll finish this off and I will move on from there. But when I was 8, I woke up one night. Now, I still looking back on this day, I don't know if these were ETs or if they were ghosts. I really am not sure, because they could have gone either direction. But I was 8. I sat up in bed and I looked for no reason. It's 4:30 in the morning. And just recently, just around that same time, I had seen a UFO out our back window right above the field behind us. And I just stood there for like 10 minutes and watched it just circling and the lights going around it all the way around. And my brother was with me. I thought, holy crap. So I was wondering if maybe that was why it could have been an ET and they came to visit. So there was what looked like a female who was shorter than me, but about the size of a 12-year-old, 13-year-old. And then another one shorter, and she had her arm around him, and they just looked at me and they waved, and I waved back. And then they turned their head and they're like, and they smiled. And I thought, what's going on? Like, I sat there not terrified or anything, but they were glowing white, just white. And every feature on them you could see. So these things, they've always just shown up. And I think what's really interesting is if you're not expecting it, if you are not expecting to not see something, you have the full potential to see something. Like if you don't know there's only one person in a house, you may have a paranormal experience because you're not you're not going, oh, there's only one person. Who could that be? So if you go, for instance, my brother works for Roto-Rooter. And I know it seems to be a paranormal thing, doesn't it? He was in the basement working on this guy's house. And as he's down there working, he's working by himself in this person's basement. And he heard this little woman from down the hall in the basement. And he, what was the name? It was like, for instance, she called him like, it was short for something. So let's just call him Genie. And she's like, Genie. And he thought, oh, poor lady. And she's like, Genie. And she kept calling him and calling him. And my brother continues to work. So the guy comes down the stairs and he's like, yeah, this woman back here, your mom or somebody, she is calling for Jeannie. And he's like, and the guy flips out, starts crying. You're shitting me. You're lying. My mom's gone. My father is gone. That's what she used to call him. And now the guy's devastated. My brother, who is a non-believer, with me as his sister, total non-believer. He walks outside, has a cigarette, and he calls me, Rebecca, you're never even going to believe what just happened in this house. I'm like, yeah, I was. Holy cow. I'm like, you're so lucky, because he wasn't expecting it. He didn't know there was no one else in the house. So he was fully open to anything happening. He went back in, finished the work. It happened a couple more times. And then he finished and left. He's like, I'll never go back in the house again. But you know what? Jason Hawes and Grant Wilson, they both work for Roto-Rooter, and working in Roto-Rooter is the reason they started investigating houses, because they'd be working and experience all of those things. And so that's a big joke. Like Jason will be like, oh, it's God's stool, Rebecca, because it's a stool, it's a toilet. So he makes fun of my God's tool page, but that's okay. Jason's awesome. And we're good friends. So anyway, I want to know your stories. I want to know some stories. Okay. Yay. Let's think. All right. Hey, Heather Townsend, welcome to members only too. Vin, hello, member. We got a lot of members in here. Mimi, hello. All right. Okay. So, Glenda Hinson Love, yes, their experiences are what made me feel a little normal. Exactly. You know what? I think everybody's first real ghostly normalization was Ghost Hunters, where you could sit there and think, holy cow, this actually does happen and this does occur. And for many people, that was their first real feeling of, I'm not crazy. This stuff is genuinely going on. And, outside of that, people were investigating. Everybody's working. I'm working. People are working. But who would have thought of putting ghost hunting on TV, right? So, well, they did. And it normalized it for so many people. And so I think that it was helpful in letting people know that they were not nuts. Okay. So let's see what's going on here. Do we have all of this going on? All right, perfect. Okay. So let me also answer a question here. The difference between ghosts and spirits. Ghosts, okay, they are energies that haven't left. They are energies that are still here, and they still maintain the human aspect of who they were as a person, because they haven't crossed the dimensions into the heavenly realm and had that veil lifted as to who they genuinely are on the inside, how old their soul is. They haven't had that lifted yet. Whereas a spirit is someone who has crossed over and has gone to their heaven, and they can move about this universe any way that they want. They can travel, they can visit, they can go. And, so many are at their funerals. So many go to their own funerals. It's pretty crazy. So Beach Bunny, you said you've had a remote control fly off the couch beside you. And you know what? It's disconcerting, as well as like you try to justify what just happened. Did you see that? Did that just do that by itself? Did it imbalance and fall? So we always try to justify things. Children, they'll tell a parent, I'm seeing someone, I see this, I see that. Oh, who's that? And the worst thing a parent can do is say, no, there are no such thing as ghosts. It's nothing. Because usually parents will say that, one, because they're freaking terrified. They can't see it and they're scared. So they try to just change the subject. But if your child is seeing something and they say, I'm seeing someone or I'm hearing someone, ask them, who are you seeing? What are you hearing? Because you don't want your child to think they're nuts. And I did. I thought I was crazy for a long time. And plus, if you can get them to describe who or what they are seeing and hearing, it may totally jog your memory and go, oh, well, that sounds like the person who used to live here, or that sounds like your grandmother or your grandfather. And it can give you a lot of comfort in knowing that it's not some child with no colored eyes standing there with their mouth hanging open. And that's what you want to know. Like, what do you see? Who are you listening to? Super, super important. And animals too. You know what? Our animals, they're all cremated. They're all up on our mantle, and they're here all the time. They're here all the time. Now, someone's also asking about shadow people. So there's several things. There's the difference between catching someone, a shadow out of the corner of your eye. Okay, and I've explained this before, but there are people that are new here, so I will explain it again. It's super simple. When you look at something in the dark and you're looking, you're like, I can't see it. And then you look away and you're like, oh, now I can see it. It's because looking directly at it, there is not enough light. So when you shift your vision, all of a sudden, whatever scarce light is out there is able to hit the cones in the back of your eye and reflect off of that. So you're able to then see without looking directly at it, but you can see approximately out of your peripheral. It's the same thing. When they walk past you here and you're like, oh, and you look and there's no one there, it's because the way that the light refracted off of the cones in your eyes, you're able to see that energy walk by. But looking directly at them, you're not able to see them. Now there's that, but then there are shadow people. So shadow people aren't always demonic and evil. They're just not. But they are energies that are traveling through dimensions, and they may not even be from this time frame. So being that we have so many different dimensions to be able to go through, that is also why I make everything come to me. You come to me. If you're legit and you want to talk to me or talk to someone around me, you find your way to me, because I am not traveling through the dimensions to you. It puts me in jeopardy. So, and that's also why I don't seek people out. If they don't come to me during a reading, I don't seek them out. So that is shadow people, and they aren't always bad. They're just not always bad. Unless they're crawling up your ceiling and then hanging over your bed, then that's something to call a priest over. And I've had stories of that stuff too. And I was like, oh, of course it's in a child's bedroom. Of course it is. Okay, Ashley, I'm quite literally going through UFO memory. I'm trying to retrieve any from age 17, actively trying to recall so I can learn what I'm meant to and move forward. What's funny, Ashley, is that a lot of times the people don't realize the fine hairline between clairvoyance in the way that you're talking to dead people and God and spirits, but clairvoyance and telepathic abilities that are connected also to extraterrestrials. And so they all are just in the same kind of, if you open up to one, you're going to open yourself up to everything. And that's why you have to be so careful and so faithful when you are doing any kind of this work, because it opens you up to the bad things too. And they're always like, hello, can I come in? Hey, oh, she's got problems. Let me come in. I can help you with those. They're drooling at the mouth with all of the issues right now and all of the festering hate that they can feed off of. And so it's super, super important when you're going to do anything, that you do it with God, that you do it in the white light of Christ, that you accept the coverage of protection over you. You really have to look to your faith to do it. And so that's just super, super important. Okay, so I am going to give you guys a little link. So anybody who has a story, I'm going to throw it into the comments section here, and I'll bring about 3 or 4 people on. You guys can follow that link, and we will I will invite you on. You can share your story with everybody. I'm going to have to put my headphones on here so I can hear what's going on. Oh, Lord have mercy. This stupid thing. Okay, my headphones. Hold on. I have to fix it here. Hold on. Headphone thing just broke. Come on. Okay, there we go. All right. Okay. So once you guys get on, hey Lala, how are you? All right. Hey, yo, Lala. She's in the chat room while she's on YouTube. She does these awesome things here. See this? This is so awesome. I love it. She does these amazing raps, and she does them like psychically. So you say, "Hey, will you make one of these for me?" And she'll vibe on you and get your energy, and then she'll make you this amazing piece. It's pretty awesome. So it's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Okay. Yes, and placing violet light around you or a violet flame for protection is also really, really an important thing to do. All right. So let's see what's happening here. Okay. I have that open. The link to that is in the chat. So if you want to, you can jump onto StreamYard and get in here. And once I see you in, then I will open it up for you and invite you on in. So until then, let's get some readings in here. I can tell that, sorry, I'm always looking at the chat, trying to get the messages. Amanda Mathis, 0. Excuse me. I would watch for, I always try to do readings that are kind of geared towards the subject matter. So Amanda Mathis, 0, watch for burned out light bulbs around you. Watch for especially your hallway between, I guess, your foyer and the bedrooms. And that hallway, there seems to be on the wall like a light fixture, or it looks like 2 lights coming off of it. So a centerpiece and then 2 lights on the wall of some kind of a sconce. Watch those to either flicker or to go out. It does look like you have a gentleman around you that would be within the home or part of the home, is older and protective of the home. This kind of energy I find comforting because I know that if I'm seeing someone like this, that if I'm asleep at night or if you're asleep at night and there's a fire, this person will wake you up to help you. This person will wake you up, and they will let you know, hey, there's a fire. You got to get out of here. Like now, get out. And it's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. Pay attention to also any kind of animals in the house too, how they respond to that hallway, because that may have something like an inkling of, oh, there he is. It's just going from the kitchen to the bedroom. Yeah, exactly. All right, Stephanie Miller. Do my grandparents visit me? They raised me, and I miss them so much. So Stephanie Miller, the one thing I pick up for you as I'm asking about that is it smells like a cobblestone floor in a garage or a driveway, but it feels not even cobblestone, but maybe brick. And it would be the reason I'm saying like a garage or something is because it smells like a mixture of old oil and gasoline. And it's like those bricks sat there under cars and it dripped and it got in the soil and you can just smell it, and it's cold and musty and oily. And I'm supposed to be talking about a garage, like an old garage. And what does that smell like? That smells like, well, there's several smells. What is that? It's like not bread, but like a rising yeast of some kind. It could be a lot of things, but it smells like yeast. So I'm baking something, or somebody wants me to acknowledge baking of something. And I'm hearing the word braid. I'm hearing the word braid as well. So Yeah. And you are Stephanie, but there's a T initial that comes through, a, a T initial that comes through as well, which is interesting. Um, so you turned your garage into a sitting room where grandma did her sewing. Okay. Does it smell? Can you still, does it have a smell still like a garage though? Does it smell like a garage? Because it smells like old oil. And then you've got your Aunt Tana. Oh, very cool. All right. All right. And if they're all together, that would make sense. Um, black and white. I'm supposed to say black and white, like a skunk or a polecat. Black and white as well. Very interesting. So Bobby McCahill Vieira, you have an audio recording, but you've never seen anything. Okay. So you've picked up an EVP on something and you've heard things. And do we have anybody here that just has never believed in ghosts or is still really looking for some kind of proof, or somebody who's just really wanting an experience and has never had anything like that before? Life behind the stick. Who's around you? Life behind the stick. Life behind the stick. Who's around you? You know, I had to find your energy first. Your energy is kind of floaty, which means that you're a very busy person. It also means that you are very hard to nail down to things because you don't like to remain idle, and your mind, you keep it very busy all the time because you don't rest well. And as I'm looking at your energy, there is a gentleman behind you, and he's got his hands on your shoulders, like if someone were to rub your shoulders, but he looks younger. I mean, I would look at him and think he's no older than his 30s, maybe tops 36, maybe 36. But he looks like he would have been 36, 35 in the 80s, 90s. So he's older. And I don't even think he's got, I don't know what he's wearing. I'm wondering if he doesn't even have a shirt on. He just looks like somebody who'd be hanging out in the sun in the summer or something. I would put him on a motorcycle or something. And it feels like this person or this energy is around you because either he cares about you or he is attracted to you. And the only thing that I would say about this is it might help make sense for clarity is if you have difficulty in relationships or you find that your personal intimate relationships are rocky, because they can affect the relationships we have. And so if you are finding, speaking of this, if you find that you're fighting between you and your partner, or your children are going kind of crazy, a lot of times it can have something to do with it. I'll ask myself, okay, what's going on here? Like, why is everybody on edge? For what reason? And I'll reassess the situation, because if people aren't getting along, I'm asking myself, who's around here that is causing people to not get along? Because this is not normal. So that could be a lot. That could be a big part of it. All right. Life, but so your boyfriend was murdered and he was 37. This must be him behind you then. He's very like massaging your shoulders, holding your shoulders, and um he just looks like he would be hanging out on a summer day. So I appreciate you filling me in on that and giving me confirmation that this would be who it is. So again, if you're having any situations with issue in current relationships, it might be because his energy is there and you're picking up on that, and they can get in between people and accidentally cause stress because they know that they can't have that individual, but they're obviously trying to make themselves known, and that can cause a lot of stress and strife if they're pulling on other people's energies. I would talk to him, and I would, is there a name around you right now? Like, is there a Chris around you right now, or Christopher or Christ or something? But letting you know to talk to him, tell him that you love him, and tell him that that he can go, that you're okay, that it's okay, that it's okay. You know, it's a guy. All right. Perfect. He was in Texas. All right. All right. Irish Aaron 74, you're skeptical now. You've never felt a connection to your dad after he passed. Oh, your best friend. I'm sorry, life behind the stick. Your best friend. I thought you said your boyfriend. It's your best friend was murdered. Okay. So Irish Aaron 74, you've really never had a connection to your dad after he passed. Okay. Well, let me reassure you, part of the reason that you've not probably had a connection with him is his lack at the time of belief in the ability to do any of that. It's like the impression that I get off of you with him, and what I'm picking up from him is that it's not something you play with, it's not something you mess with, and that it would have been very hard for him to make this a reality. You want me to what? You want me to travel through and go say hello in her dreams? I'm not doing that. I'm not traveling through and going in her dreams. Or why am I going to go back down there? I just came from there. You know what? I'll throw her a penny or something. So watch for the real simple things that you would expect from your dad. Watch for a rainbow. Watch for a four-leaf clover. Watch for things that would have meant something to him that may not be so much him jumping out and saying, surprise, it's me, because that wouldn't be his style. He will do something that would be very much his way. And that's the little miracle that you want to watch for sure. Vin, you've got to leave. Your battery's at 80%. All right. Well, as you know, Carl, this is recording. You can always jump on. But as you also know, you've got so many people around you, and I'm always thinking about you. I do. I constantly think of you, and your daughter is always around you as well. I think she bobs in and out more than you realize, and you talk to her constantly, and I can hear you talking to her and her going, yes, Dad, and yes, you know better. And so she is really a loud Jiminy Cricket in your ear. And when you're talking to her, I can watch you busy doing your thing, and then she's in the other room yelling back. So just know that she is conversing with you. You aren't just making that up in your head. She is there. It's interesting. Okay. Jesse Miller, you're not skeptical, but just curious as to how you can sense these things when you aren't physically with these people from the chat. You can sense the spirits around me through. Yes. So that's really how it works, Jesse. It is quite miraculous, right? And it's because I'm not using any form of divination. I'm not using anything. And it's that God uses me. So that connection that's put up in the air, that universal collection of knowledge and information and our guides, and my guides float to you, and then I find you and I wrap around your energy. I know, isn't that sound crazy? But that's how I'm able to smell what's going around a person, or if I can walk through their house with them and remotely view. I'm kind too. If you're naked, I don't see that you're naked. You just show up as a ball of light. But it's just that my guides converse with your guides. And then there's this energy and this collective knowledge and Akashic records. And I'm able to tap into all of that. I receive the information. And it doesn't matter if I'm on the phone with a person in front of them. Actually, to tell you the truth, a lot of times it's easier to do it over the phone or this way because I'm not distracted by the person. And I'm able to just look away. And I've had people, when I'm reading them in front of them, I'm trying to just focus, and then they're going like this. Where are you? And I'm like, wait, what? And because I'm not looking at them. So it's just how it works for me. And I can't explain it. It just happens. It's just something that you learn and you trust it. And the more you trust that message, the more your guides give you. So this is something that you probably already do. Many of you already do it. You think of someone and then they call and you're like, oh my God, I was just thinking about you. That's exactly how I do it. It's when you think of someone, you find them, you locate their energy, you wrap around them, and then you pull back. And they're like, oh my gosh, I need to call Jesse. Oh my God, I was just thinking about you. That's so weird. I know. I was thinking about you. That's how it works. So when you don't want to talk to someone, don't think about them. Seriously. I catch myself thinking about someone. I'm like, oh, no. Oh, Cobalt Einstein, whatever that thing is from the Robinsons. Okay, whatever. It's a great part of the movie. She's got like 14 coffee patches on her. That's how you do it. It is you send it up and you're just casually thinking of someone and then you find them. It's when people go, something's wrong. What just happened? Something is not right. And then you get a phone call and somebody's in the hospital. Boom. You can feel it and you know it. It's because it's all energy. Energy is always in the air. And when it's raining, it's just that much more electric and zapping us. It's pretty awesome. Oh, I love that. All right. Boop. What's there? There we go. Mountain Hill 444. I read your message and it goes, I'm Laura and I'm ready for a massage. I was like, oh, I'm going to get one tomorrow. How'd you know? But it was message. Thanks, English language. That was funny. It's definitely sleepy time, okay? That is definitely sleepy time. Mountain Hill 444. That was funny. That was really funny. Okay. Also, I'm going to put this up here again. Oh, excuse me. All right. Let's throw this back in here. All right. In case anybody wants to get on. I know. I'm like, you're getting a massage? So am I. All right. Mountain Hill. Okay. Oh. All right. Your guides show you super indecisive right now. Totally on the fence. Not making up your mind. Wavering between something new and what you know. And the reason I'm saying this, and it has a lot to do with money as well. Like you're like, should I spend the money? Should I not spend the money? And so they show you in hiking boots and you're walking over a stream that's like this thin. Okay. And you've got 1 foot here and you walk a little bit and then you cross over and then you straddle the river a little bit in the stream and you go back and forth over it. And what this tells me, first, the shoes represent when a person is feeling like there's something going on in their life that is out of their control. A person or a situation is holding them back. And it really comes down to free will. Do we allow it to hold us back? Is it a legitimate reason? Is it because you have to take care of someone that you can't do that? That's a good reason to say no to something. You have to really ask yourself, is this a good reason to not do something though? And then the river where you're walking, this is very, very important because how do I explain this quickly? So you have a choice right now to get off and walk onto your left, which means totally new situation that you've never done before and it's scary and you don't know the outcome and the pathway isn't even cut yet and you just have to pick up the machete there and start cutting through the bushes and start forging your own path. Or you go on the right hand side and everybody you know is there and everything you love is there and everything you want that you think you want, let me correct that, is there, but it's not exactly what you want. It's comfortable, but it's not that. That's what you want, but that's terrifying. So it's hemming and hawing. Do I do this? If I do it, I'm going to lose some of this, and I don't know if I want to lose this yet. Thing is this, when we get off in the river on the right-hand side, it takes us back up the mountain, up the white water. We get back on a raft. We get in the white water. It bounces us all around. We lose control for a little while. We freak out. We cry. We feel a little depressed. And it slows down and it brings us down to where we bottom out at the bottom of that water again. And we get back out. Okay, left or right? Man, I'm just not ready to do this yet. I'm going to Go right again. And sometimes people go right and up and down and right and up and down over and over until they go, I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. I'm done. I'm leaving. I can't do this. I'm going to move. I'm going to do this. I'm going to change this. And so this is just part of our learning process of going up and down this mountain sometimes. And that's where you're at. And a free will decision is something that I can tell you where you are, but I cannot tell you what to do. I would advise, though, doing what's new, what's unknown, what is the opportunity, what's terrifying, but you're going to probably grow from it. That's what I would do. And usually, if it's strong enough and you've turned it down enough in your life after it's presented over and over again, an opportunity will start to give you anxiety if you choose it. No, if you don't choose it. And so you walk away from it again, you start to feel sick every time you walk away from it. And then you're going to start to go, oh, maybe I am supposed to go that way. Yeah, because they're like, she's turned it down like 7 times. What do we do this time? Because she's got to be there by like Thursday at 5. So your guides will start kicking you in the pants to get you to do something. So that's pretty much how it goes. Yeah. Thank you, Ashley, for doing that again. Ashley is on there. And you need a massage now. See, and it's an MA, and I didn't even catch that. I caught massage. I must be thinking about tomorrow, like getting my massage. And I'm like, oh, she's getting a massage. They've put it off like 4 times for me. So I thought, you better keep my appointment tomorrow, paying for it. So, oh gosh, I just need them. They're always like, what the hell are you doing, Rebecca? What are you doing? Why is your body so cranked up? God forbid I actually tell them what I do, because I want to go and shut up. I don't want to talk. And I've been to massages before where I've spilled the beans, like a pregnant woman who is now a friend of mine, but she was getting rubbed down, or I was getting rubbed down, and her belly, I was laying this way and her belly kept rubbing apart on my head. And I was like, she said, okay. So I started reading the kid, and then I started reading her, and then my massage was reading. So it's like, oh man, I just keep my mouth shut now. I just keep it shut. All right. Okay. So Dawn Dupuy. Again, if you guys have stories, apparition stories, any ghosty stories, Bigfoot stories, share them. Absolutely share them. Get on and talk about it. Dawn Dupuy, your life is a mess right now. Is there light at the end of this tunnel? It's so funny how you put it like that. It really is funny. Because usually, control is an illusion. Control isn't even a real thing. It's basically just knowing that the day has gone the way you want it to go and everything has worked out. So it's been within your control. And when things don't work out, we're like, oh my God, today sucks. It's been out of my control. Yeah. Those are the days when you're just like, I want to go back to bed. Yeah. It's like a little demon. They're called the Yattering. They walk around and they hit things out of your hand, and they just make your day. It's like, how many times when you get the dropsies, I call it the Yattering. The Yattering is a little demon that if you can grab it and catch it when it's doing that, it'll have to present itself to you. Well, just look it up. I won't go into it right now. Lala, get on with your story. Who cares if your camera ready? Is there a filter? Do it on a filter. Put a filter on or something. Nobody'll know. No one's going to know. So Dawn, back to you. When you put it that as their light at the end of this tunnel, the interesting thing about that is when we make choices that we know are good for us, when we make those choices that we know are difficult, but they're leading us down the right path, it's just, how long is this path? When's it going to end? Is there light at the end of this tunnel? The thing is that when we enter the path in the first place, we're not greeted by the people that we love and care about. It's usually googly dark eyes and cobwebs and all sorts of dark things, and you're about to walk through a tunnel that you don't know what's even there. And the little pinpoint light at the end of that tunnel is where you're going. But that's the thing, is it does not shed any light, enough light to see where you're going or what's going on. And see, and I think this is kind of a gift that's given to us when we are not given full knowledge, because a lot of times if we were to see what we were going to go through to get from here to here, we may not choose that path because we'll go, that's just too dang hard. I don't want to go through that. I don't want to lose that person. That's my friend, or that's going to be painful, or so many steps. And so the lessons that we learn going through things are just huge blessings. It's why we're here. And it's how we look at those things, how we perceive them, that really is the choice. It is to choose how to see something. Is this a good lesson that I'm going to learn from it? Is it painful? Probably. Do I want to curl up in a corner and just suck my thumb for an hour? Probably. But it really comes down to the lessons. That it's what's that song? It's The Climb, whatever that is. I can't even think of it. Greasy bow hunk with the mullet. Y'all know who I'm talking about. His daughter, Miley Cyrus. It's the climb. It's the climb. You know what? It is. It really is about the climb. It's not the beginning, and it's not when you reach the pinnacle. It's what you go through in between those things that make it all worth it. And those are also the reasons that we can't see all of the events, because we might look and go, oh, shoot, I don't want to do that. I don't want to scrape my knee that many times. It's the climb. Exactly, Crystal. Exactly. Yeah, Miley Cyrus. So it really, it's the perception of who you are on that path and what you're capable of. And it is the perspective you take. And if you take it as an overcomer, as an achiever, as a leader, as a solution-oriented person, it makes it much easier. But if you go through it and you listen to the barrage of hateful things that have ever been said to you, or the things that you hear in your head, you don't want to do that, because if you're about to achieve something that God wants for you, and he puts you on a long journey, and you're 2 steps from opening that amazing door, and all of a sudden you're bombarded with horrible things and hateful things, or stop for a minute and breathe and ask yourself, does this matter? Why would it happen right now with so much on my plate? Why would I be given all of this to consider about myself, about not being good enough, or this is not going to work? Why would a person get in my way? Why? Because everything that is an obstacle that is placed in your way to achieve something that God wants for you, to obtain that goal, whatever it is, every obstacle placed in your way, if you overcome it and nothing is stopping you from achieving what God wants in your life, and you're not listening to all the stuff that's beating you down, what do you think these guys over here are going to do? They're going to find the people around you that will listen to them and use their mouthpiece to make you stop. So when I get to a place where I am really about to achieve something, and all of a sudden I am hit with hate, or the loss of a friendship, or a fight, or something happens one after another, I stop and go, today freaking bloody sucks. But why is this happening? I must be close. I must be close to achieving something great, because they are desperate to stop me. And that's what keeps me forging on. That's what keeps me doing this. Do you know how often I get stopped or attempted to stop me from doing this for you guys? More than you know. More than you know. Yes. All right. The Dharmy man, your nephew is suffering from COVID, struggling for life on the vent. First of all, I'm very sorry for that. I'm very sorry that your nephew is going through that. I'm seeing that he'll be okay though. The scariest thing everyone knows is going on a vent, because that is the point where you have one way or another to go. But there is also there's also a young girl. I don't know if this is a daughter or what around him. There's a girl around him that would be part of the reason that he stuck around. And it looks like he is, while when he's, I guess when he's out, when he's sleeping, he's actively conversing upstairs, almost like he is getting new instruction or a second chance. And so I am thinking that when he wakes up, it will be soon. He's going to heal, wake up, heal. He is going to have a different perspective on life. And I think he might even be able to recollect what, maybe even vaguely recollect, but be able to tell the story of what's been going on in this decision to stay or not. So I think he's given the option right now. And I'm going to tell you, heaven, that is the place to be. It's the most beautiful, loving place ever. And there are people and things that he still has, there are people that he cares about, but there are things that he still needs to do that are probably why he's going to be coming back down, because they are important to him. And all of it's important to him. And so he's going to choose to come back down with a different perspective. And I think he might even have a different perspective on how to behave and there's just something going to be different about him. And they may like, oh, well, it's going to take a while. He might be cognitively slow or something. No, that may be the case. But I also think that he is going to be really thinking about things differently. So, yes. Yeah. Yes. And Dawn, definitely exactly. Stop listening to any negativity around you. I'm telling you, they will employ people who are willing to listen. If you know a narcissist, those are the most gullible when it comes to listening to the darker angelic beings talking. And they can spew some of the nastiest stuff you've ever heard. And you're like, where the heck did that come from? Like, I didn't even know you were capable of that. But thank you for revealing it. That's awesome. Hot diggity dog in Z formation. Okay. So awesome. You know what? We've got that Dharmy man. You know what? We've got how many people here? We've got 24 here. We've got 38 on TikTok. Dharmy man, we're just all going to say a quick prayer together, okay? We're going for your nephew. Father God, Lord Christ, this is Rebecca and everyone here that is with me right now at YouTube and Facebook and TikTok. And when two or more gather, please hear our prayer in your mercy for the Dharmy man's nephew who is right now laid up on a ventilator, really fighting for his physical earthly life right now so that he can come and fulfill all of the things that you would like him to fulfill, plus all of his contracted goals that he came here to achieve. Show him, Father God, all of the beauty of staying here. Help him to wake up. Give him the strength to know that he's going to have a little bit of recovery. Reassure him that he's going to do it and he's going to have all the help around him and he's stronger than he realizes. And we all see it as well, Father God. And so I ask this in your mercy to heal him, to help him wake up and to help him get better here in his earthly body. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Boom. So there we go. Lots of prayers, lots and lots of prayers for your nephew. Very welcome. Awesome. I love that. I love that when everybody's here and we can say that, be kind, Kel, just describe my mom on point, narcissistic. Once somebody asked me if narcissists are demons. And I think the thing is that because they remind their victims so much of demons, the way that they can just their whole face, their attitude, their behavior just changes on the flip of a switch. And it's so strange because you think, how well you hid that. Like, so beautifully covered for so long. And it eventually does come out. And they are ruthless in what they are able to say and do. And they have no conscience. They have, and a lot of times what you will find is narcissistic people have no faith. They have none. They don't believe in a higher power. Narcissistic people don't look to God. They're probably pissed off at God for one reason or another. They're angry at him. And he hasn't answered their prayers. He hasn't given them answers. And they are here on their own, self-sufficient. They never ask for help. They don't want to ask for help because then they owe people things. So they do it all on their own. And you will find they are usually non-believers of any kind. They just believe in themselves, or they think they believe in themselves. And so all of a sudden then they have, without that conscience and that lack of empathy, lack of compassion for others, they can say and do anything and not feel any remorse because it's like they don't have a soul. But it's not that they don't have a soul. They do. It's just that they've given up on it. And when they give up on it, those darker things, they just become so much louder in their heads, and they become more susceptible to what they say and how they make them speak and feel. And then they're like, nah, 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 nah. You're right. You're the right one. They're just big babies and can't handle it. And so then they're like, yeah, you're just a big baby and you can't handle it. And narcissists just don't feel anything, no conscience. They have to find God. And then maybe they can heal. And they know it too. They know what they're doing to people. They know it. And it's sad. But you know what's also sad? Is I always give them second. You know how many times you forgive your brother? 7 times 70. So what you do with that, you don't have to be a big jerk and be like them. You can still be kind to a hateful narcissist. You can still kill them with kindness. You can still pray for them. And you can recognize them as the scorpion that they are, or as the snake that they are, or the lion. And what do? When we see these animals, we know their nature, we respect them. We don't get in a cage with them because we know that they have bigger teeth and they may bite. They probably will. They may sting us. They may, whatever their nature is, that's what they're going to do. And that Aesop's fable, okay, when the scorpion asks the fox, will you give me a ride across this river? It's flooding. And the fox says, no, you'll sting me. He goes, why would I sting you? Because then we'll both die. And they get, you're right. Okay, fine. So he believes him. And the scorpion crawls onto the fox's head. And the fox starts to swim across the river. And the scorpion stings him. And he goes, why do you do that? We're going to drown now. And he goes, well, it's my nature. It's what I do. And so this is the way people are. You have to understand, you just respect who you're dealing with. If you know that this person is a scorpion, treat them that way, and then you will not get hurt because you'll go in with that protection over yourself. And you'll be able to say, I was waiting for this. You don't even have to say that, but in your head, you'll be like, I was waiting for you to show up and you proved me right. And then you're not going to get hurt because you knew it was coming. You knew what to expect. We got so far off of topic here. Okay, so I know time's up, you guys. Time is up. For everybody who is watching right now, when you get off of this show, you may want to head over to godstool.com and check out my May my May specials. I can't even talk anymore. After a day of readings and everything else, I like to start getting tongue twisted. Go to godstool.com, check out the May special. You will not be disappointed. Run along over there. Next Monday night, I will, normally Monday nights at 9 Eastern, I do the spiritrealm.net gallery where I do medically intuitive readings that are geared towards mental and physical health. But I will be doing that during the morning because I will have company that evening. I can't do it. So that will be done during Monday, the 14th, during the day, I think about 10 o'clock in the morning after my members only. And then next Tuesday, the 15th, I will be sitting here with you guys again, 9 Eastern, and I'm going to talk to you about how to read people, how you do it, how the visualization techniques, and a bunch of other things. So while you're on, I will work with you. And hi, Bradley. That's my son. My son is on. Bradley. Hello, darling. Bradley, you should be on TikTok. So if y'all on TikTok, everybody that's on TikTok right now, go search B_rad Brad. That's my child. B_rad Brad. So it's Brad. Okay, you get it. B_rad Brad. That's my kid. Pretty proud of him. So next Tuesday, readings and how to read people, the visualization techniques that go into it, and the little coincidences that you already do that will make sense in your life. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. TikTokers, I will be on doing my little blurbs here and there with you guys. It's a lot of fun. TikTok is super addicting. I freaking hate it. I make the stupidest videos on TikTok. So I look forward to seeing you guys all. Check out On God's Tool as well. Go to the events page, and you'll be able to see all the different events that are going on. And places like Virginia. I will be in Virginia at the end of May, and I have like 10 in-person reading slots. I'll be in Strasbourg, Virginia for a fundraiser. I'll be speaking at that event, and then I'm also scheduling in-person readings. So if you're in the area, book that on the booking page, and you just go to Strasbourg, Virginia readings. So many places that I'll be going. So check it all out. And Joplin, Missouri, and oh my gosh, where else am I going? Vernal, Utah, Illinois. I'll be in Palos Park, Illinois in the beginning of May. So if you're around the Palos, Orland, Tinley area, south of Chicago, there is a fundraiser I'll be doing there too. So I will be talking to you guys later. God bless you all and take care. And I will see you guys next week here on the Paranormal PhD. Take care, guys. Bye.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready, folks.
I sure am. Are you ready?
I sure am.
Super excited.